going to grab my iPad too, and I looked at the timer, and I was like, I guess I'm just going to wing it.
All right, let's go ahead and get started, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. This is the WordPress in the Workplace panel. This is the DFW WP Tech group, the WordPress developer and technical user group in Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's everyone thank RD2 for hosting. This is a great space. I know it's a little bit hard to find, but I think everybody managed okay. And it is a great place. We've had our meetings here before, so we really appreciate that. Let's also thank Doyle Calvert, Digital Doyle, who's recording this. He's a member of the group and has come to many of the meetings, so we appreciate you recording this for us, Doyle. My name is Randy Hoyt. I'm a web designer, or a web developer, interaction designer. I work for an agency here in Dallas known as Imaginuity. I also do some freelance work and teach web development at University of Texas at Dallas. This is our panel. These are all people that use WordPress in their day jobs. And so I'd like to have all of them introduce themselves. Now, I've got a series of questions that we'll ask, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. If you've got questions you want to ask, feel free to tweet them out with the hashtag WPWork, and Rainey Jensen will be monitoring those, and will hand those to me. And after that, we'll have just free-form time for people to ask questions from the audience. So let's go ahead and start on that end, have people introduce themselves, say who you are, and how you use WordPress.
All right, my name is Stephanie Leary. I work at Texas A&M University, and I manage about a dozen sites now in a single WordPress network installation. I also do some freelance work on the side, but that's not what we're here to talk about. And I wrote a WordPress book. Nothing. We're not here to talk about that tonight.
My name's Leia Scofield. I work for RD2 as a developer. We do a lot of websites for clients. We do Android development based on WordPress content management. Is that a good assessment of it? Okay, good. And so we do a lot with WordPress, also Drupal, but I prefer WordPress.
Awesome. My name is Cory Miller, and I run a WordPress theme, plugin, and training company in Oklahoma City. And our biggest brand is called iThemes.com. And so we build themes, plugins, all that kind of stuff for WordPress. Love WordPress. Love hearing how it's being used for Android apps and all that kind of stuff. Go WordPress. So.
I'm Matt Bowman. I own MLB Web Design. We're a company just right down the road in Arlington. And we build WordPress sites for businesses and nonprofit groups and all kinds of interesting clients. And we love WordPress, use it every day, and that's why we're here.
All right, well, let's start with the first question. Why use WordPress? What attracted you to WordPress? If you've used other platforms in the past, why do you like WordPress better? Or if you use other platforms still today, talk a little bit about the pros of WordPress over some of those other platforms. Stephanie, let's start with you.
Oh, ease of use was what brought me to it. The price tag is nice, but we had been through movable type, text pattern, Joomla, Drupal, and a bunch of professional for pay CMSs too. None of my users could figure out how to use any of them. I switched to WordPress, and we did an hour training session, and they're up and running. That was it. Took me a while to get everything sorted and migrated and moved in, but ease of use for the end user is absolutely the number one reason I use it.
I'd say the community. I love that if I run into a problem, somebody else on Google has probably had the problem, and I can just go look it up and find the solution. Someone's probably written a plugin for it, so it's very easy to make things happen.
Is there anything else besides WordPress? I mean, I haven't heard of any. No, I'm just kidding. The same thing is when you're able, it's beautifully simple software. So if you tell somebody that is like an administrative assistant to log into software and it looks like a helicopter dashboard, with all kinds of levers and stuff, that's going to scare people. And so WordPress is just, like Stephanie said, just beautifully simple. And it just keeps getting better and better with features that people like Randy and developers that know a lot more about code can extend it and use it to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, I would have to agree. We actually include a training time with our clients in kind of the design cost, because we know that we're going to sit down with them for a couple hours, answer their questions, and then they're going to be on their way. And it's just so it's powerful, flexible, and easy to use. We've used in the past. We've played with Joomla, CMS Made Simple. Looked at Drupal and some other tools, but WordPress has risen above all of those. It's just been a great solution. And then on the other side, we mentioned plugins. That's one of the things we love about WordPress too. Is we get a request in from one of our clients, and maybe something new that we've never kind of gotten into. Well, within 2 minutes, we're on WordPress.org searching through the plugin directory, and we've got a solution to their needs. So, and our clients love how modular it is too. And we tell them that we'll start with this basic brochure site, but if you want to add on e-commerce functionality or online registration or XYZ, everything else, we can quickly and easily do that.
I love the cockpit analogy because I use that exact image. There's a quote I found on general computer users and the problems that they have with the abstraction of using a mouse to control something on the screen, and just general things like, why do they type URLs into search engines? Why do people do this? And he said, we've been building these complex machines and basically giving people helicopters for 30 years and then complaining that they're too stupid to fly them when all they need is an elevator. Give them an elevator.
The big test was for me when my mom comes to me and goes, I want a website, and I go, oh crap.
Yep, same exact.
We have an excellent support forum, or Matt here would be glad to build you a custom website.
That's right.
So, but I did install it for her, and I got her up on one of our themes, and I thought, I'm just going to give her a basic introduction, basically log in here and do it here, and I checked back with her in a couple weeks, and went to the site, and she had uploaded photos and everything. I thought, ding ding, there it is. If my mom can use WordPress, and don't worry, she's not watching this, so then anybody can use WordPress, and that's the thing.
My mom can use WordPress. Yep.
We gotta have a WordPress moms group.
Yeah, this is
or grandmas or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt mentioned clients and talking to clients about WordPress. How do you sell your clients if you're an agency, or internal users if you work inside a big company, on WordPress? Do you run into any problems, either politically, talking about it's open source, it's free, it doesn't have support? What kinds of issues do you run into when trying to sell WordPress? And what other benefits of WordPress do you sell to them? Leah, let's start with you and then come this way.
I'm not really very involved in the sales process itself, but I think that, I don't even know if we mention WordPress anymore. We just kind of tell them they're going to get a CMS, it's going to work, they're not going to have any problems with it, and it just works.
I tell them to go to fantasyfootball.com, and a huge domain name. And Matt has a better answer to this than me. This is what I say from my side of point of view. Go to fantasyfootball.com, look at all the blogs that New York Times runs, I don't know, all the various huge blogs that are getting hit on WordPress, and they love it. That's my answer to it. Showcase, I'm going blank, but fantasyfootball.com is one that I helped get onto WordPress, our company did, into WordPress. And, if you don't know, fantasy football in July, it gets hit like tons, and that kind of domain name is a huge domain name. So I'd never seen a site on WordPress get hit that hard. It's not my site, so I can't share stats, just to say that there's nothing that even comes close to what I saw. One dedicated server, one installation of WordPress, and then actually a member to run some membership stuff plus some forum stuff, and it was just going like a champ. But legally and all the other stuff, I'd have to defer to Matt because he works for clients. So,
Yeah, we
defer to you with the legal stuff.
Yeah, we have two types of clients. Some that come to us that just want a solution, as you said. We may or may not even talk about the fact that it's WordPress. Most of our clients we work with are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we like it that way. So if I can, I'll sit down with someone kind of early on in the process before we've signed an agreement and really demo the system for them and say, I really want you to see kind of what you're paying for. And almost always I leave those meetings with a signed contract, because once they see how simple it is, how flexible it is, they see the work that we've done in the past. We do all custom design, so everything's one of a kind. So typically they're really pleased with that. Or we have the client that says, I want my site built in WordPress. Do you use WordPress? And we go, yes, we do. And so then we go down that road with them, and they're more educated and know what it can do, and we can go down that road with them. Or we have clients that say, we want you to build our site in .NET Nuke. And we say, well, we would recommend another solution. So it just depends on the client.
I know with us, one of the benefits of ways to sell WordPress is that the community, that there are a lot of WordPress developers out there. We do work with some proprietary systems as well, but we try to push people to WordPress because with all client relationships, just like human relationships, there could be a point where it's over, and we want the client to know that if they somehow get tired of working with us, they can easily go find someone else on the same platform. They're not locked into, there's only 3 developers on the planet that work with this solution, or it's a homegrown system. So for us, it's partly just a good thing, the right thing to do for the clients is to put them on a platform that they can take with them if something happens. And I mean, if you think about how a relationship will end with a client, it often helps keep it from ending. If you're thinking about their needs when it's over, it keeps it going strong. Stephanie, did you want to add? I know you're in a different environment.
I'm in a very different environment. Yeah, A&M has a very decentralized IT organization. Let me put it that way. So I work for the University Writing Center, which is a really tiny office of about 7 full-time employees and like 40 student workers and grad students. And as far as the technology that manages our website, I have complete autonomy. You know, we have our own server. I can use whatever I want. Working within, with the other offices and departments on campus, some shops will have, you have an IT guy who runs the server and will dictate to the web developer what technologies they're allowed to use. And I've been in some of those situations where I've been pushing to use WordPress in a Microsoft environment, and have gotten it going because I've been able to point to the features that we need and say, this is the kind of site that we are building. This is why I want to use WordPress. If you can come back to me with, a .NET or, whatever solution that hits these points, I'll be happy to look at it. And they can't. And so I just kind of steamroll them and say, we're going to use this, and it runs fine on IIS. It takes a little tweaking, but it'll work. And so that's what I've kind of had to do.
Did you have to sell your end users on it, or is
Nope.
it more IT?
Almost always IT, because the end users don't know the difference. And so when I got to this job, the site had been done in Mambo and then upgraded to Joomla when that fork happened. And so they were sort of in this abusive relationship with Joomla. They didn't know it didn't have to be that way. And so when I started looking for something to move us to, because I could see the writing on the wall for the Joomla community, I was like, no, we're not sticking with this. I looked at Drupal, and I had used it in the past, and I knew it wasn't very user-friendly, but I had sort of underestimated how beastly it had gotten. And so I installed it and ported our information into it, and then looked at the editing interface with all the taxonomies and the plugins and everything that we had set up, and I said, I can't give this to my end users. And I had my boss look at it, and she went, I don't know how to use that. And she's actually the primary person who updates our website. She loves sitting in bed at 2 a.m. and writing articles for our faculty. Great. I want her to be able to do that. And she looked at this interface and said, there's no way. I said, all right, forget Drupal, off we go. And I showed them WordPress because I had used it, in a lot of other capacities, and they said, this looks easy. I said, fantastic. This is what we're going to use.
All right, well, you mentioned hosting, so why don't we spend some time talking about hosting? What kinds of hosting platforms do you recommend, either for your clients or for your own sites? What are some tricks and tips that you've learned setting up different kinds of hosting environments? Cory, we'll start with you and then go this way.
Awesome. Well, we refer a large number of people to HostGator.com. HostGator's based in Houston. You guys probably know that they have boxes down here at the Planet of Think. In, I think, 3 years of using them, they've let us down twice. But I tell users, you want so from a user standpoint, or even web hosts and stuff like that, we try to get our hands into hosting, and I got burned severely with that. And so no hosting. HostGator, you pin them at midnight on a Saturday, that little live chat, and you're speaking with someone that can probably talk intelligently, or at least BS you. No, they really are good. So it's just great support. And then for someone that wants to get going but doesn't have to worry about installation, even though WordPress I think is one of the simplest, get a cPanel type thing in 5 second install, literally. I would look at something like Pagely, page.ly. Josh Strebel and his wife run that company, great managed WordPress type. It's WordPress.com essentially with some more control. So HostGator.com, by and far the best for me, shared host, and then page lead for